Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be doing another painting video, as you know by the title. So this I'm up to painting 32, but I have skipped one because I tried to do, okay, let's just backtrack. So I tried to do this one and I wasn't happy with the result. I think I just wasn't in the painting. No, I know what it was. I didn't have as much time as I normally would, and I was rushing it, and it did not turn out how I was expecting it to, or it was just looking a bit of a mess basically, because I was rushing. So we haven't done this one, so this does need to be done at some point, but I'm not doing that today. I did this one, but I didn't film a video. But yeah, I did this one, and I will try and show you at some point that one, because I'm really pleased with how my version turned out. So today is this painting, and I've got all my colours ready. This is the colour palette, and I've actually got all of the colours in this list, which is unusual, except for the unbleached titanium, which I couldn't find online, but I've got buff titanium, but it needs to be slightly yellower, so I'm going to mix a bit of this with I'm just going to brighten this up basically to make it more, this is a little bit fleshy toned, so it needs to be, as you can see in the picture, it's a little bit more yellowy than that, so I need to just make that a bit more yellowy. But other than that, I've got all my paints here, so we've got yeah, everything there, thanks to my recent purchases. I mean, I think, yeah, these two were the only recent ones I bought. The rest I already had, so we're doing quite good with colours at the moment. And I've got my palette knives for mixing. I've got my 8" by 8" canvas board. I've got my 2 jugs of water, and I've got my water spray, and I've got my paint brushes. So we are all set to go. So basically this chapter I'm doing now, it's about massing colours. So this one we are going to be, I'll just read this out to you. Analogous, don't know whether that's pronounced correctly, refers to the colours that are next to one another on the colour wheel. Limiting the range of colours you use will naturally result in a more unified, harmonious paintings. One problem with strictly analogous colour schemes, however, is that they sometimes appear too narrow in colour. An excellent way to fix this is to ensure a very small amount, an accent of the colour from an opposite side of the colour wheel called the complement. So good tip there. So step 1, let's crack on. I'm going to try and do at least 2 paintings today, because it's very early in the day. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm sure I can squeeze out 2 of these paintings today, and I'll probably film separate videos for them, or I'll film one video and not the other. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. So this is the first step. So begin your painting by toning the canvas with a thin mixture of unbleached titanium. When this is dry to the touch, sketch out a basic outline to indicate thin trees. Using yellow. Oh, so that's the yellow ochre. So yeah, that titanium buff, I could just use it straight as the background, to be honest, to tone the panel, I think. Because the unbleached titanium, I'm sure it's not far off that buff titanium that I've got. So yeah, I think I'm just going to do that. So yeah, so we're going to be using do a basic outline using yellow ochre. Try not to make the trees too stiff or narrow. Allow them somewhat irregular. I've done a birch tree painting before, but in watercolor. I've got it upstairs actually, and it came out really nice. So I'm excited to do this one, an acrylic version. So this is the end. This is the end result that it's supposed to look like. So yeah, okay, so I'm going to use this. I usually use this to apply the ground or the toner to the canvas to get that all over. It gives it a nice even spread, and very smooth. It turns out very smooth by doing that, and it's quicker than using like a paintbrush to do it. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to sketch out our trees, and then I will come back to you and let you see how I'm getting on. Right, so we are back. I've done step 1. So as you can see, I've put the buff titanium as the background colour, and then I have used yellow ochre. In order to get it more fluidly, I used a flow improver. So basically just squirt some of that and it will loosen up the painting into a more watery texture, as you can see. So I've done that with the yellow ochre. So what I did as well is I first of all marked at the top of the canvas where I wanted the trees to be, just instead of just doing one at a time across and then it not being laid out how I want it to be. I just marked it to be sure that it was the right placing for the trees, and then I held the brush at a probably at the end, and then went, did the outlines of the trees so that they're loose and not straight lines, because you don't want to have like dead straight lines and the trees look all stiff. You want them to be knobbly, birch trees are knobbly, so you want them to look knobbly. So we are moving on to step 2, which is this step right here. So we're done with that. This one is it can never, I don't know, for some reason I'm filming this on my phone because it's easier while I'm painting instead of my actual full camera. So for some reason I'm having trouble with the focus on it, so I'm quite aware that the writing isn't as clear as it should be. So I don't know how to fix it. If anyone knows how to fix it, it's a Samsung S20, but yeah, I'll have to sort it out. Anyway, so I'll read it out. So to begin establishing the analogous colour group, fill it in the grassy areas and add details in the trees with the yellow ochre. Strictly speaking, this colour is not on the blue/green side of the colour wheel, but it will help to unify those colours when you fill in the rest of the painting. So we're going to get that done and I will come back to you. Okay, so we have done step 2. It's taken 45 minutes for me to do step 2 to get this far, but I did stop and get breakfast, so I suppose that did take up a little bit of time, and I was waiting for the buff titanium to dry. But yeah, so this is step 2 and I am going to move on to step 3. So I think we have, so yeah, once we start adding all the colours and everything, we can start then defining how that looks. But yep, so step 3, I need to wait for that to dry, so let's go over step 3. So step 3 is, when the paint is dry, mix the colour for the grass using yellow ochre and Perfalio blue. Apply this colour in a semi-opaque glaze, allowing some of the yellow to show through. Okay, so I think I've got a medium for that, for glazing. So I've got my Perfalio blue here, and I will do some yellow ochre, and I will look for, I'll show you the medium in a minute that I'm going to use for the glazing, that you can use for glazing. I'm sure it's just called glazing medium, but I can't remember. I haven't used it for a while. Yeah, so I'm going to mix that up, wait for this to dry, and I will come back to you once I have done that step. Let me just check what step 4 is, because I might do step 3 and 4 together, so this doesn't take too long, because like I said, I want to get 2 of these paintings done. So it says, now create a slate blue colour for the water by adding Perfalio blue, ultramarine blue, Mars black and unbleached titanium to the green from step 3. Using this green will harmonise the colours. Note that the grass and the water are rather close in colour and value. Yes, I think I might do step 3 and 4 together and then come back to you, just to speed things up a bit, because we don't want to be filming for hours. Yeah, so let me do that and I'll come back to you and let you know how I've got on, and then there'll be just the last step of putting the shadows in and all the dark areas on the trees and everything. So yeah, I will be back in well, for you I'll be back in the next clip. Okay, so we have done steps 3 and 4, and this is how it is looking. I am aware that I painted the green down here. Don't know why I did that. I only noticed it when I was when I was painting this bit, but anyway, the blue's covered it, so it doesn't really matter. So the next step is to fill in the trees and do the shadows. Trees and shadows is the next situation to finish off this little piece. So I will come back to you and let you see the final result once I've done that. Let me just read the steps so you know. So step 5 is add Mars Black to the mixture you used in step 4 and paint the stark shadows cast by the trees. To balance the blue/green bias of the painting, mix dioxazine purple with a little cadmium orange and use this colour for the knots in the trees. Clean up any stray brush strokes in the trees with a mixture of titanium white and unbleached titanium. So that is step 5. And then it says, using a limited range of colours is a great way to harmonise your paintings. Add accents of the complementary colour helps to keep your colours balanced. So yeah, let's get this done and add the finishing touch. So there it is before, and then I'll come back with the finished result. So we have finished at last. Ta-da! So this is my finished piece. I had to turn it on its sides to paint those trees because I was painting them, you know, where they horizontally, but then it was easier for me to paint them along vertically. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. It's looking good, and yeah, I don't really have much more to say than that. But yeah, you can see the yellow ochre shining through on the grass to give it those highlights, and the colours work well together. I'm pretty happy with it. So I'm going to wrap this video up here, and I am going to start another video on the next painting and see how I get on with that, because it's 12:30, so I started at 10, so that took me 2.5 hours, but I did have a couple of breaks to eat and still do a couple of things, but the breaks were only short, so most of the time that was spent on this painting. But yeah, I had to wait for things to dry though in between. So yep, that's it for this video, and thank you for watching. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe for more videos. Leave me a comment below on your thoughts on this series, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.